menopausal woman, right? And I still have my uterus. So these things are changing throughout my body, hormonally, structurally. I'm aging, all these things. So I'm trying to do the best for my body to keep my body healthy, to keep my body fit, and to keep my body away from the big C, which is cancer, right? Now, sort of like I want to look attractive. I want to look sexy, but I'm closer to 60, so my sexy days are over, child. Yeah, my sexy days are over, honey. My sexy days are over, sweetie. So I'm trying to prevent my body from going down to the you know where, to the where they dig that hole and they throw your body in, and it's lights out time, right? But on the way there, you have to maintain your body because, well, you don't want to go through a life of suffering, right? You want to like sail into the distance. That's what I want to do. My thing is, I want to live my best Zen life. That's what I want to be. I want to live with a kind heart. I want to live with a clear conscience, a Zen like, God like life till, well, my mom lived till she was 80. The quality of life is till she was about 75. So the danger zone is my sister has some neurological disorders and she's 68. Yeah. So anyway, this is what I do. Check with your doctor. I suggest blood test after you get it 2 years out or whatever. Depending upon your type of surgery, you may have a metabolic surgery. I had the lap band. I still have my stomach. I have no metabolic issues. I don't have any malabsorption. You can look back on my videos. So I think that if you have like a really big metabolic malabsorption, you really need to follow your doctor's advice. But I'm just telling you what I would do. I would not rely on a blood test. I would rely on a hair analysis. You can do your own research. They're widely available in prices on Amazon. Do find the test that's right for you. It's easy to do. You can get a test that costs 40 some dollars, or you can spend up to 200, you know. Here is a very good information here, right here, that this young guy says, and it's very true.
And so the doctor's like, well, your blood came back fine, so we don't really know. You know, it's because people don't realize the body has to maintain the blood at any cost up until death. You know, a lot of times what will happen is finally a blood test will come back a certain way, you know, right before someone dies, because the body finally exhausts all of its resources to maintain the blood. And their body will do this at any expense, you know, bone, liver, minerals that are anywhere else in the body. You know, there's certain mechanisms that the body just has to have, okay? The blood has to be maintained because it's in contact with every cell in your body, okay? You know, and then in order for these cells to work properly and for them to be oxygenated and all these things, you know, the blood has to be maintained. And this is true also for saliva and urine tests. And one thing that people also don't realize is that it's only an immediate thing, okay? When you take a blood test, it only represents the body in the exact state when you took the blood. Now, for example, when you take a hair test, it's not the exact state of when you took a hair test, because you're taking enough hair where it's more like a 3-month sample. So it's an average over 3 months of the state that your body's in. It's a 3-month average of your thyroid health, of your adrenal health, your digestive health.
So he presents a very good point. It's like when we do a A1C for our blood sugar, that tells the periodic blood through the 3 months how our blood sugar has been acting, right? So this young man here, he does give you some great information. I'm going to link a card, and then you can do your own research. But I think the hair analysis is the way to go. Of course, if you dye your hair, you have to let the nape of the hair grow out back here, way under here. Cut it way off. Cut it way off. wait 3 months, let it grow, and then send it, because you don't want to send a colored hair. So you have to wait at least 3 months. You know, take it completely off, cut it, maybe put a rubber band around it or whatever. You won't be able to see because you put your regular other hair over it, and then send your sample.
All these different things, okay? So it's much more useful to have a a snapshot of a 3-month period as opposed to an instant snapshot. That's very important to realize. And the reason why it's so important is because your body, for example, the oxidation rate. One thing you can calculate from the hair test is your oxidation rate. The oxidation rate is like the tune of your engine. If it's rev too fast would be fast oxidation, and rev too slow would be slow oxidation. And what happens, for example, like when you exercise, if you took the oxidation rate when you're doing some like sprinting or something like that, your adrenals would be activated and all these things, and your oxidation rate would be fast. It'd be faster than normal because you're doing exercise. Whereas when you're at your resting heart rate, you'd be more in a slow oxidation. So it's important to have that 3-month sample so that you know what the average oxidation rate is. The average stress that's happening to someone's body over a 3-month period. So that's why a hair analysis is so useful. It's also useful because it's much more preventive. A lot of times things show up in the hair that don't typically show up for a long time, like I said, in the blood. Things will show up in the blood for years just because your body has to maintain it. But with the hair, you can catch things much earlier. It's much more preventative so that you can prevent things like diabetes.
Ha ha ha. Isn't he saying the truth? When does their hair start falling out within weight loss surgery? Usually by the 3rd month. Then it really kicks into action, right? My hair, 7 years, has never returned to what my beautiful hair used to be, right? It'll grow bushy, but it won't grow long. When I was vegan, when I had a real nutritional deficiency, my hair fell out, and it was a weird texture. Now, don't get it twisted now. I'm in menopause, and hair changes in menopause too. And then, I'm always at a calorie restriction because I don't want to get fat again. So let me share with you, I'm going to put all this link to this guy's video. I think he gives you a real good information about this. It's a couple years ago, but it'll give you something to think about, and then you can do your own research. But how many times, and I know this for a fact, a lot of times with the blood, we don't have nutritional deficiencies. Actually, the lab does not flag the blood until it gets really low. So, and a lot of times our food, they say, oh, you're supposed to get all your nutrition out of your food, right? Well, we're at a nutritional deficiency for how many years? Well, I'm continuing on because I don't want to overload my system and get fat again, right? Eating all those dangerous foods. So I'm really strict about what I eat. Yeah. So anyway, I take a number of supplements, and I change them throughout the season. If I'm feeling a little fatigue, I change them. I do a lot of herbal medicines. I do not take any pharmaceutical drugs. I was taking phentermine way back, like 3-4 months ago, because I got off track and I needed to put my brain back into gear because I was like the fat girl came out of the closet. So I nipped it in the bud with the phentermine, and then I stopped using it. And then I went back on fasting and OMAD like that. That seems to knock the food beast out of my head and puts it in the closet for a while. Believe me, it'll come back if I open that door. Yeah. So anyway, let me show you what I do right here. Can you see that? So my computer don't fall. Okay, so what do we got here? Well, I changed my multivitamin throughout the years. When my first year, I used to use the Bariatric Advantage. They're great. I used them for about 2 years. They're very expensive, right? So I just look and I do my research on the vitamin itself. I look in the back. I am very in tune to the minerals and supplements that my body needs and what my body needs. You might need iron because you've got a malabsorption problem. You may have an iron deficiency. You may have a calcium deficiency. So you might want to be aware of that. Okay. So I just take a multivitamin. Sometimes I'll take Centrum. Sometimes I'll take Garden of Life. It all depends. So this is my new daily vitamin, and this is a woman's vitamin for women's health, 100 tabs. I try to get organic, non-GMO when possible. Yes, I do. So then I take a super B complex for metabolism and whatnot. I can get nauseous if I don't eat and take a vitamin. So a lot of times I'll take this at nighttime right before I go to bed so I don't get nauseous. Back in the day, I used to be very, very sensitive to multivitamins. So I have to make sure that I have a little something in my stomach if I take a multivitamin because I'll get sick. So yeah, I take a B complex. B complex is very important for me. I have to make sure that I take a B6 because I have a little bit of problem with a little bit of folic acid, a little bit of MTHFR. I had a high homocysteine and I had a gut bug in 2016, H. pylori. So, I had my difficulties. So yeah, I take this. And I either take one of these or then this is the new one that I just got from Trader Joe's. And it's once a day controlled release. On the B supplements, I usually take a B12 liquid. I put that underneath my tongue. This is methylcobalamin, and this is a natural one. It's 500 mcgs. I usually take a B12 5,000 mcgs per day. That's just me. These are just my supplements. Yours will be different. And this is definitely non-GMO. There's no hidden ingredients, no artificial ingredients, vegetarian and vegan friendly. I get this mostly I get some of the stuff like this, my specialty items from Amazon. And I always read the comments. I read the comments and I try to get the 4.5 to 5 stars. I also take a sublingual sometimes. This is a B12. This is 1,000 mcgs. There's 100 tablets. These are very little and they're best taken under the tongue and you let them melt. Put it under the tongue and you let it sit there and you let it melt. B12 is not a fat-soluble vitamin, and so is the B vitamins. They are excreted through the urine, so you can't, I should say, you take thousands and thousands of mcgs, but, within reason, you can't, it doesn't stay in your fat cells like the D vitamins, the fat-soluble vitamins. I also do at times take a supplement when I feel I need it with a liquid vitamin B6, and you can look the benefits up on the vitamin B6. This is a Carlson. This is a very good brand. I did at one time use the cod liver oil on my face and my lips transdermally. I use cod liver oil transdermally for my skin. I also take a zinc, ionic zinc at times. This is a mineral supplement. And you might want to research that. You can do your own research. I take this periodically in the summer. I do take a CQ10. CQ10 is important for cells and the mitochondria in your body. As we get older, we are depleted with CQ10, or the other kind is ubiquinol. These two supplements, especially if you take a statin drug, the statin drug depletes the CQ10 in your body. So it's very important for you to do your research if you're taking a statin drug or other pharmaceutical medications to make sure that the pharmaceutical drug does not deplete the CQ10 in your body. This is a very, very important supplement. Try to find the best quality you can find, and you can find them on Amazon, and you can read and research. I say research on all your supplements and even the manufacturer, because these days a lot of them are being made in substandard factories. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're coming in from China, so you might be aware of that. Gone are the days when they say, oh, you eat a healthy diet, you can get all your vitamins and nutrients from your food. That is not true. That's a bunch of BS, and I don't care who says it. It's BS, because our soil is depleted, our planet is depleted, our food source, our animals are depleted. We got pesticides in them. So you really need to do your own research. Don't believe somebody else's dogma. Cod liver oil. Cod liver oil is an old remedy. I take it because my skin is dry, right? My skin is dry. My hair is dry. I'm almost 60 years old. This body is drying out. So this is omega-3s, and this is from wild caught cod. And this is to replenish things in your heart and brain. I use this mostly transdermally. After I get a bath, I usually take this capsule. I poke a hole in it. I rub it on my hands. I rub it on the bottoms of my feet. I rub it underneath my breasts. I may put a little around my nipples, or I put it on my hoochie cooch, because those are the areas that it'll absorb right into your body. Or I might put some on my lips or on my neck. The oils, especially like I use avocado oil, or maybe I'll use some argan oil or something like that. If it's an oil base, sometimes I'll use it transdermally. You can even put it on your stomach, and that will absorb that way. Vitamin C. This is a very excellent brand now. I use a lot of Now brand. We need vitamin C. I don't eat a lot of fruit these days. I only eat fruit, well, when I'm trying to lower my carbs, I'm trying to get into ketosis to burn fat, I stay away from fruit, right? Yeah. Well, back in the day, my doctor told me when I was first 2 years out, no fruit, right? No fructose, none of that stuff, no stuff that would take me out of ketosis. So, but they didn't believe in ketosis back then. They just said they wanted to not need to eat meat. Not allow me to eat fruit, any kind of sugar. So anyway, I take vitamin C. And I usually like to take 1,000. Maybe I'll take 1,000 milligrams in the morning and 1,000 milligrams at night. This is for joint health, MSM. Yeah, I'm almost 60 and I have a lot of injuries. I fell off my bike and had 11 sutures in my elbow, and my hips acting up, and my knees hurt and stuff like that. I got joint pain in my hands and stuff like that. So I know we're not supposed to take NSAIDs, and we're not supposed to do anything but Tylenol, because acetaminophen can lead to liver damage, yes. So I try to stay away from it. I try to stay away from anti-inflammatories. So if it really gets bad, I take one of these for joints. If I'm really in pain, then I have to do the acetaminophen, or sometimes NSAIDs, but I really watch it. Colon health. Colon health is really important. I do take a probiotic. Now I'm taking this right now, and this is a 4-in-1 colon health probiotic. And this is for gas, bloating, constipation, and diarrhea. So I change up my probiotics. Sometimes I'll do natural probiotics by vegetables, by sauerkraut, by yogurt, all these things, kimchi, all these things help you. And then I'll switch my probiotic up. It could be really good. It could be kombucha. It could be all different types of. It could be the kind of probiotic that is put in the refrigerator. But this is a dry probiotic, and that's what I'm using now because I have a problem with constipation. Yeah, I've had it all my life, depending on what I eat. If I start with a high protein diet, you can better believe that I'm going to be jacked up for a while and it's not going to come out. And being constantly constipated and having all that old stool in your body, all that waste is not good. It's not only good for weight loss, because I can guarantee you if my colon is full of poop, I'm going to gain 6 pounds. You're exactly right. So I have to be mindful of that. And my body does not like to go every day, does not like to expel. And I've been that even before weight loss surgery. So after weight loss surgery, it even became worse. And it's still worse. And there's nothing I could do. Although when I went vegan for the first couple months, my body was like, phoom, right? And I did have a bout of IBS around 216. But I will say that you need a keg of dynamite to blast me out. So I'm very conscious of how much body waste that I have in my body. So yeah, I take a daily multi stool softener. This is natural vegetable, and it's very good. This I buy this on Amazon, and it's a senna. It's a natural senna. So when I really need some help, I have to go to this. This is a magnesium citrate. This I take a half a bottle. I take it, and I have to drink a lot of water. I try to drink 60 ounces of water a day. Then the next morning, everything will expel out of my colon, and I'll be really, really clean. Sometimes I use some parts. I used to go for colonics, and then sometimes I might even have to resort for an enema. So I do take GABA. I take GABA for my brain cells and for depression or stress or whatever. And you can look that up. I don't take anything for depression or anything like that, but I have had my bouts of it in the last 7 years. I've been through a lot of emotional stress lately in my marriage, so I've had an all-time high of emotional upsetment. I did start taking this again. I've taken this in the past, vitamin D. I have taken vitamin D in the past, different from this, but this is what I'm taking now. And it has calcium and vitamin D and vitamin K. And this is caramel, and it's very good. It satisfies. Very tasty. It satisfies the sweet tooth. This is 15 calories, 2% sugar, and it has 500 IUs of vitamin D, vitamin K, 40 milligrams, and calcium, 650 milligrams. And then it has 10% of sodium. And the advisement is to take 2 a day. I take 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening when I go to bed. So as far as my natural health, I do like to take. Right now, I'm doing some licorice. This is an herb that has anti-inflammatory properties. It will help you it'll raise your blood pressure. I have low blood pressure at times. I love the taste. It's an endocrine enhancer. It helps restore a lot of things in metabolism. And this is USDA organic. You can do your research. Of course, this is contraindicated in lactating women and pregnancy, and also people that are taking pharmaceutical drugs. This is usually prescribed by a naturopath. I would not advise taking any kind of natural herbs unless you really know what you're doing. You read up it or go to a naturopath that knows the medications that what you're taking and that are not contraindicating with the herbs. I take echinacea. I just started taking this for inflammation and adrenal health, and also the licorice helps with stabilizing adrenals and cortisol, and so does the echinacea and the golden seal. I always try to get it gluten-free and alcohol-free, GMO, and organic. Also, magnesium oil is another good thing. Just put a little bit on your hands. It's good to restore for restless leg syndrome, and it calms the body, it calms the mind. I usually take a Epsom salt bath at least once or twice a week that I soak in the tub, and I put the baking soda, and I fill the bathtub up, and I just sit there, and I do a manual lymphatic drainage with my skin brush, and I do a massage from head to toe. And Epsom salt helps with, relaxes you, and also this is a deodorizer. If you have like stinky feet or a stinky body or stinky hair or whatever, you just lay in it and it'll take the stink out of your body. You can even use this as a deodorizer for your clothes or your refrigerator. I always make sure that you don't, there's no aluminum in your product, because a lot of substandard baking soda has the aluminum, so you have to be careful of that. I also do coconut oil, and I also do avocado oil. Those are the types of oils that I'm using. I don't use corn oil or anything like that. I use this on my body, my hair, my cooking, or whatever. I have another thing for cooking, and this is for my body. I always make sure it's non-GMO and it's organic. I also do apple cider vinegar, and I take a swig of this sometimes in the morning or in the evening. It helps with gut dysbiosis. It helps with stomach ulcers, and it just helps with digestive issues. I really like this, using this now, PB Fit. It's organic and it's non-GMO. I use this as a peanut butter thing. If I'm eating something, I want a little taste of peanut butter. I love peanut butter. So this is the less dangerous, the less calorie. It's only 7 calories. It's only 5 grams and only 3 grams of sugar, 8 grams of protein. So this is a win. This is a win. And I always make sure that it is organic and GMO. I got this online. I started using back this IsoPure. I like this IsoPure. This is 0 carb. I got this online. It's vitamin. It's a protein powder. It's banana cream. If I'm doing a fasting and I'm doing some fitness, I need this for post-recovery. And this has a lot of, has BCAAs and L-glutamine. It has a lot of wonderful stuff in here. I think this is the best bang for your buck. This is 100 calories. It has 0 carbs, 25 grams of protein. Your body can only absorb 25 grams of protein at a time. So if it has 40 grams, your body's not going to use it. Sometimes it turns it to fat, so be mindful of that. So this has 25 grams of protein. It has all the vitamins in there. I strictly look for the what it has in there as far as folate. I don't take folic acid. And this has biotin, so it covers my biotin. And it has selenium. You can go for a natural. You can overdose on selenium. So if you take two nuts, Brazil nuts, that'll satisfy your selenium. So anyway, I hope you'd enjoy this. I'm going to link this card to this video, and see you in the next video.